Hey Josh, this is in reference to what you said in your last video about how dogs turn in circles before they go to sleep, and we don't know why. What I was always told is when dogs were wolves and they had to get ready to go to sleep, they would turn in circles to smooth down the grass beneath them, so if there were any sticks or brush sticking up, that it wouldn't poke into their stomach. So they've retained that throughout evolution and our breeding to make their little nests more comfortable when they're going to sleep.
So your video made me think about two different things, both of which probably deserve their own episode. The first was about how art kind of exists within a cultural context. It's all art, and it had a lot to do with originality, and it was pretty interesting. But instead of that, we're going to talk this week about apples. Just like human beings, apples don't make any sense at all. Essentially, the way that this thought started is that I was biting into this tremendously delicious apple, and I thought to myself, why? Why does this apple taste so good? It's mind-boggling because it really doesn't have to, and then I realized it does. You know, the apple needs to taste delicious because it is an essential part of that apple's life and reproductive cycle to be eaten by me. These apples specifically developed themselves in order to be delicious so that they could be eaten. Can you imagine if we had to have one of our arms just eaten off so that we could reproduce? That would be crazy. It'd be crazy. Polar bears would be happy because we'd be going to the Arctic to have polar bears eat us. You turn about 13, 14 years old, you get shipped off to the Arctic, and you're like, all right, come on, bring it in, I got an arm here. And they're like, oh, delicious, delicious human arm. We'd have our arm eaten, and that would be an essential part of our life cycle. It sounds pretty crazy, but that's how apples exist. Anyways, what's really, really cool about this is that simultaneously, we developed to find them delicious because they're also another icious word, which is nutritious. In this way, we've created a symbiotic relationship with apples. But what's maybe more fantastic than that is pears. And I'll tell you why pears are fantastic, but it's going to take me a minute. So we've got apples, and apples are awesome, especially for things that are about human size, right? They can easily be held in our palm. They are fun to bite into with the size of jaw that we have, and it's very similar for other animals that are about our size range, chimpanzees and maybe small bears and big cats, assuming big cats ever had the desire to eat anything that wasn't, screaming. So it makes sense to me that there would be something smaller developed, for squirrels, because a squirrel trying to eat an apple would be sort of silly. A friend mentioned to me the other day that if a squirrel tried to eat an apple, they might have to build a little pickup truck to cart the apple around because it would just take them so long to eat. That seems a little inefficient, and so then we get cherries, and cherries are kind of like apples, but, for tiny creatures. And the squirrels can be happy with their little cherries, and then humans can be happy with their little apples, and then polar bears can be happy with their watermelons, assuming polar bears ever had an interest in eating watermelons, which they don't. Hippopotamuses. Yeah, hippos. Hippos eat watermelons. Anyways, so the thing is that the size variation, that made sense to me. I was like, okay, I can see how that develops. But no, it doesn't stop there. I feel like Billy Mays selling fruit. But wait, there's more. The apple exists, and then right alongside the apple there's a pear, and the pear is like, hey, I'm basically an apple, but for people who want things that are a little softer and a little greener and
maybe a little more unusual shape, and then right next to the pear there's a banana. I don't even fall in the same category, I'm not even a fruit properly. And then, just to shake things up, we're like, hey, why don't we add some citrus fruit?
So how does this relate back to what you were saying in your video? Well, you were talking about how human beings don't make sense, and I agree with you. I think we absolutely don't. But there are a lot of things in this world that don't make sense, and I think there's a real beauty to that inefficiency. I like the fact that I can bite into an apple and think it's totally delicious, but understand that it's not fulfilling all of my nutritional needs, all of my taste bud needs for pizza and hamburgers and cinnamon rolls and cookies and grilled cheese and eggs and pancakes, and I think it's probably time for breakfast. I'll talk to you soon, Josh. Have an awesome day.